Welcome to this year's Getting Started webinar for Give for Good. Today we're going to focus on the platform, review some of the tools that you have access to, and if you're brand new, we'll walk you through kind of all of these different areas. So let's get started. Real quick, my name is Sarah, and I'm the project manager for Give for Good this year. I am working with Mighty Cause, which is the platform provider for Give for Good. This is the second year that we'll be working with you all. Real quick, a little bit about Mighty Cause. So we've been serving nonprofits since around 2006. We are a year-round, modern, all-in-one kind of fundraising platform specifically geared towards nonprofit fundraising. We also offer peer-to-peer fundraising. We have all sorts of kind of tools and features, a lot of which you have access to just by being a part of Give for Good, which is very exciting. So we'll kind of walk through all of this different kind of opportunities. If you do want to learn more about Mighty Cause, you can check out mightycause.com. So for today's agenda, we're going to kind of walk over a couple of the basics for this year's Give for Good. I'll kind of show you how to get started, different areas you should be focusing on. We'll walk through your organization pages, and then we'll walk over more platform features that you have, and then different tools and areas where you can get support. So this year's Give for Good basics, as you know, it's powered by Community Foundation of North Louisiana. Registration is already open for this year's Give for Good. It opened on January 2nd, and it will be closing on February 2nd. So the live event this year is happening on Tuesday, May 7th. It's a 24-hour event, so it's going to go from midnight to midnight. And advanced giving is set to begin on Tuesday, April 23rd. You can see the website, giveforgoodnla.org. A couple quick notes, just if you're trying to wrap your head around what you need to do. We always recommend just going to your page, first making sure you register. Once you're approved, you can start to customize your profile. If you participated last year but you haven't revisited, you can start to kind of review the different areas of the platform, make any adjustments, make sure the date is correct for this year. Any mention of last year's date you'd want to remove. And then you can start to really plan your fundraising campaign, whatever that looks like, different areas you might want to focus on. Maybe you want to focus on peer-to-peer this year. Maybe you want to focus on matching grants this year. And then you can start to promote your campaign via your social media channels, start to come up with an email strategy. If you're going to be hosting any events for the first time, or if if events are just part of what you do to promote, you can work on those. And then, of course, inviting any supporters, whatever that looks like. So we'll focus on some peer-to-peer fundraising that's available to you. But even if it's just getting, your supporters to share links, how are you going to communicate that to them? And then, of course, the overall, you want to raise money, you want to win prizes, you want to reach out to donors. So that's kind of the game plan. Just a reminder of the different features that are available to you. So you have customizable org pages. This means, you can add your logo, you can add a banner image, you can update your gallery on your organization page, you can add custom tabs. I'll show you all this in a second. You can revisit your matching capabilities, peer-to-peer fundraising tools. Opportunities feature is a big one. This is a fun section because it gives you the ability to advertise different community events you might be hosting directly through the Give for Good website. Anything you upload, build out in your opportunities for your organization would then be searchable to people who are visiting the Give for Good search. We have robust analytics reports available to you. We're going to talk about how to utilize your donor retention report. And then, of course, extensive resource library is available to you as well. First things first, before you get started, you're going to want to register your organization. So registration is required to participate each year. What you'll need to do is go to the giveforgoodnla.org website and just click register. There's a short form. When you complete it, it'll grant you access to your page. You'll need to wait to be approved by the Give for Good team. So please allow between 7 to 10 business days. They're going to review your form, review your answers, and then you'll get an email notifying you of approval. If you are an admin who has already been approved as an admin for the organization, you'll be able to log in. You'll see you can log in on the Give for Good website. At the top right, there will be a drop-down menu. This is where you can access your organization page. But you'll be able to see the status of your organization's registration by going to your overview screen. So if you're curious, if you haven't heard back, you'll be able to see whether it's approved, pending, that type of thing. If you're a brand new admin and you're registering your organization, you are also going to need to receive an email approval by the actual Mighty Cause support team that will allow you access to manage that organization page. It's all in one, so you don't need to do anything, special, but you do need to be aware that you'll get an email marking your registration approval, and then you'll also get an email letting you know that your admin has been approved. But be sure to register by February 2nd. To access your organization page, you are going to need to go to the Give for Good website, and you'll just click login at the top right. There's different options for logging in. You can use Google, Facebook, or just the email that you use to register your organization. Once you are logged in, you can see on the drop-down menu under your name, there will be a list of the organizations that you've been approved to manage. So you'll see those in the drop-down. Like I said, if you're a new admin, if you haven't, been approved to manage the organization yet, just by filling out the registration form, you'll automatically be requesting admin access to your organization profile. Our Mighty Cause support team is going to be reviewing and approving these admin requests. So just make sure you allow at least 2 to 3 business days for them to review and send you approval. Occasionally they need, verification just because of the sensitive donor information that you'll have access to. But it should go pretty quickly. And then once you are approved, you'll get that specific email notifying you of admin approval. So once you log in and you click into your organization page, you'll see on the left-hand side, you'll see a dashboard menu. It says, overview, organization page, fundraising tools, reports. This is where you're going to be going to access all of the tools, making any edits to your checkout form, things like that. Kind of a brief overview of what you'll see. On this overview screen, you'll also see a to-do list. This is where you're going to probably want to start. So if you participated last year, it's a good idea to just go to your to-do list, kind of review these sections, make any updates. If you have, an updated website, or you have a new contact email, or you want to swap out to a new logo, I would still start just so you can make those tweaks for this year's campaign. And then you can kind of work through this if you're brand new as well. Just by clicking on this text, it'll open up the full kind of encouraged required fields and then the recommended fields as well. So I wanted to show an example of a pretty filled out organization page. The more kind of information you add to your organization page, the more obviously you'll be able to connect with your donors. You'll be able to explain your mission, kind of what you're fundraising for, which is all going to, hopefully encourage gifts to be made to your page. You can see this is the full page view. And a lot of these sections, they are optional. So if some of it just doesn't, resonate with what you need, then you don't need to fill it out. And in that case, it would remain blank and hidden. So make sure you add your logo. You'll want to have, this is what's also going to show up on leaderboards. It'll show up in the search for people to find your organization. If you don't have a specific logo for your cause, just find, a very clean picture that somebody could see and recognize as your organization. You also can opt for a banner. You can upload your own, or you can choose from a gallery of images that Mighty Cause provides. Strong visual images, ideally no text, is going to do well in this space. Organization name, and then we have your donate button where donors will go to actually make gifts. Fundraise is where visitors can go to do peer-to-peer fundraising for your organization. And then we also have a section where you can update the information that you want to display for your metric. You can decide what information is displayed there. And then you can also update a goal bar. So if you have a goal for this year's campaign, make sure you edit that so that people can see your progress towards your goal. As you scroll down your page, there's a lovely about section where you can add, your mission statement, history of organization, photos, videos, anything that's really going to capture and explain what you do to donors. specifically what you're fundraising for this year. Then also we have an option for another tab that you can use. So you can create a custom tab. For this particular example, it's Giving Tuesday. But for yours, it could be, what does $10 do for your organization? What does $20 do for your organization? Just to give people an idea of what it takes to run your operation. You can also have like a meet your staff type of page. You can get really creative with what information you put here. So something to keep in mind, definitely utilize that additional custom tab. And then as you work down the page, there's options to highlight peer-to-peer fundraisers, feature specific campaigns, add media galleries, different photos of your image of your organization. We also have your organization data page, which for the most part is already filled out, just because we have information that is already provided to us via the IRS. But if there's information, like I said, your website you need to update, or a phone number or something like that, you can make those changes. So first things first, you'll want to dig into just updating and customizing your page. If you previously participated in Give for Good last year, and then you have an idea of what your page already has on it, but go ahead and just review everything. Make sure your goal bar is updated. If you're brand new, you can take a deep dive into this, and you can customize by turning on the edit mode toggle at the top, and then you can just start editing. You'll see all the sections that have editing capabilities will have these little gray pencil icons or this little megaphone. But click into each of those and start to make your edits. One other thing that I'd like to point out, sometimes people miss this, there's a little kind of paint palette to the right. This allows you to select the color that you want on your page. So if you have like purple as your brand color or green, you can customize that so that the buttons and some of the highlighted text in your goal bar reflect that. Moving down your page, you're going to want to update your About section. This is where I was talking about you can add photos, you can add videos. The staff tab, this is the example on this one. The custom tab, they decided to highlight who it is, who's behind the scenes, what they do. But the inline editor makes it really easy for you to customize your page. So you can write directly onto the page. You can see exactly what it's going to look like when a donor or a visitor comes. You can see where you can bold things, you can highlight things in heavier, weights to make them more stand out more. But yeah, colors, headers, lists, all of these types of kind of formatting really help your messages stand out. Add your images, add a video. Mixing up the content makes it much more interesting for donors to come read. It also makes it more digestible instead of seeing just a wall of text. So kind of think about what messaging is super important, what key details do you want to provide on these two tabs, and really make a strong appeal to a visitor to try and support your nonprofit, your organization. And of course, you can update your profile at any time. So if you need to make any adjustments, this is all, you can make any adjustments you need at any time. And then just remember to click save. So moving down kind of your dashboard, we talked about your overview, your organization page, how to edit it. We're going to talk about fundraising tools, and a big one this year, every year, matching grants. So if you have previously done matches, last year's events, you'll be able to kind of recall how you do this. But if you're new, you go to fundraising tools, select matching grants. It'll bring you to your matching grants dashboard. You'll be able to see previous matches, upcoming matches, and live matches. So when you have a live match, it will show attached to your donate button as kind of a little sticker icon, and it'll show on your organization page so people can track the progress, how much of the match has been used, what's available. It's a really great tool to motivate your donors to give during specific hours. Maybe there's a specific prize. Maybe there's a specific time of the day that's a little slower, so you'll want to try to use a match to pick up some momentum. These are all things to consider when you're setting up your match and talking to different grantors who might be able to provide the match. But actually creating the match is very simple. When you're on your matching grants dashboard, you can click the plus sign to create a match. You can enter your match sponsor name. You can add an image. Maybe you have a logo for a corporation. You can also title it, set the date, the time, what percentage of the match, are you going to, is it going to be a one-to-one match where every, dollar is matched dollar for dollar? There's a couple different parameters you can set up. We have a full kind of article about matching grants in the resources library. So if you want, you can dig into that. But matches are just overall a really great way to drum up support and to encourage donors to give, especially donors who are giving in smaller amounts who might feel like they're making less of an impact. This is a good way to motivate them and just help them feel it and see that their dollars can go even further. Additionally, inside your fundraising tools tab, you have access to campaigns. This is where your peer-to-peer, supporters can be tracked, different pages. You can build a fundraiser template here. So your campaigns is going to be useful because you can kind of see what was set up for you last year. If you had a lot of peer-to-peer fundraisers last year, maybe a couple of them aren't fundraising this year, it's a good idea to go into their next to their page and just hide any out-of-date campaigns, toggle that discoverability so that they don't show up in the giving event search this year. And then of course you can also see, when they were created, when they were published, who's the owner, is it a peer-to-peer supporter or is it an admin of your own account? Just so you can kind of track what's going on. You can see amount raised, last changes to page, stuff like that. Ideally, you are also going to want to set up a fundraiser template if you're encouraging peer-to-peer fundraising this year. This just makes it even easier for your supporters to be able to campaign for your cause. You get access to one fundraiser template. So if you used it last year, just go into it, make any edits. Maybe you have the date that you want updated. If you want to update fundraising goals or swap out images, you can also add some text. So if you wanted to share something new this year, you can add that. If you're brand new, what you'll want to do is just click create at the top, and from here you can fill in all the details. This is basically the template that somebody would receive when they want to campaign. So when they click that fundraise button on your organization page, they would be granted access to a template. And then they can go in and see what you added, and then they can make any changes themselves as well. So if they wanted to change their funding goal, they totally could. If they wanted to swap out images, they could also do that. But this definitely helps, help people feel less intimidated by peer-to-peer fundraising because they're not starting from scratch. Okay, so then moving further into fundraising tools, we also have a wonderful opportunities tool. This is a really great feature because it allows you to set up events, and then these events that you set up, these opportunities, can be searched within the Give for Good search itself. So if a donor is coming or a visitor and wants to see like what opportunities have people created, they can search for that. So you can kind of see what it looks like to create an opportunity. Very simple. It's basically filling out a form. So you're going to add the details like where is it? Is it in person or is it a virtual event online? What type of opportunity is it? Is it a volunteering event? Is it something else? You can add all of the details for your opportunity, where it's located, if there's an address for an in-person opportunity, if it's an ongoing event or if it starts at a specific time and date. If there's any special conditions that your opportunity entails, you can add that. If you need a waiver agreement attached, you can do that as well. And then you just create your opportunity, and then it will be listed on your page and in the search for Give for Good. So then you have your reporting dashboard located right below your fundraising tools on your navigation menu. Reports, you obviously have just a ton of access to a bunch of data and information. All of the admins on your account, by the way, are going to receive email notifications when a donation is made. So just something to keep in mind. But this is where you go to access your donor data for the event and the campaign in real time, and you can download your detailed donation reports. So you'll be able to start, as soon as donations go live, you'll be able to start tracking, donor count, online donations. You can add your offline donations. You can, keep track of matching grants. You'll be able to download a full report so you can, reach out to donors to thank them. You'll be able to collect that donor information. And then you can also sort. So if you wanted to just see how you did during, the actual live event, you can enter in that time period. You can sort specifically your donation report by donation type. So you can do like online donations only. So all of this is going to be really helpful. Just by default, The time period is set to 30 days. So if you're not seeing something, typically that's the issue, is that you haven't filtered by the dates that you actually would like to see. You can also come here if you wanted to download last year's reports, so that you can kind of do any, housekeeping kind of data that you need to do. Your retention report is a really great tool as well. It's available to you if you previously participated in Give for Good, and you can start to use this report as part of your strategy. So basically, you'll go to your retention report via your reporting dashboard, and then you can filter by the time period. So this is updating in real time, and it allows you to keep track of the donors who donated to you last year's campaign, but maybe haven't made their gift yet this year. So this is a really great base of donors that you should consider reaching out to. Definitely set up an email, as you're working through creating your campaign strategy and setting up a timeline. When early giving starts, early fundraising, you can start to reach out to a group, remind them to give, and then especially on the day of the live event, come back here, filter by the date, filter by the campaign, see who has given, who hasn't given, and then come up with a plan to reach out to them. Send them an email, remind them when to give, if you have a live match, anything that could incentivize them. But this is a really, really great data set, so make sure you work this into your strategy. Moving down your dashboard, your checkout is another section you'll want to work on customizing. If you're new, this is a great opportunity for you to let donors know what it takes to run your organization. You can update your donation form, and you can set different levels of gift amounts that you'd like to see or encourage. And then within each of the gift amounts, you can also just add a description. So you can say, what does $25 do? Does it, buy, 2 bags of dog food or something like that, depending on what everything does for your cause. So adding those descriptions, keeping it between 4 to 6 different levels of payment options is really helpful so that your donor doesn't get too overwhelmed by all the options. So definitely go in and customize that. And then also we'll talk about your thank you page, your donation receipt. But this is a really great way to just kind of preview what your donor is seeing when they head to your donation form. You can also directly copy the link to your donate form from this page. So you can put in, your specific link to your donate page in any emails, maybe in Facebook posts, places where you don't necessarily need somebody to go check out your page and then also donate. Maybe you just want it to be a direct click here to donate now. Your post-checkout flow is where you'll edit your thank you page, found in your checkout right next to your donation form button. But this is where you can, immediately thank your donor after they make their gift. So of course you still want to add follow-ups and stuff like that after the event, but this is a great space for you to just immediately say what you need to say, let them know that they've been seen and that their donation has been received. A fun video, a photo of your staff, just a quick message, and then you can of course add, a button. Maybe you want them to sign up for your email list. Just any little follow-up that you can provide is helpful. So thank you page, videos, you can add a customizable call to action, a link. This is a great place for you to just immediately say thank you, have them opt into a newsletter that you have, so you can add like a direct link to your MailChimp newsletter sign up, different things like that. Give the donor a next step to take, learn more, maybe you direct them to your actual organization's website. But this is just a great opportunity to provide a next step and also celebrate their gift. Additional settings. Within the settings section, there's all sorts of little kind of things you can do. You can add alternate search names. So maybe you think donors are going to come to the search and they won't search your organization name. Maybe you go by something else. So you can add those so that they're searchable. Your URL can be customized. So last year, most likely, if you participated being on the Mighty Cause platform, you probably have already updated this. But if you're brand new, you haven't participated, you can go ahead and customize your URL so that it connects with what your organization actually is. This is also where you can update your legal address. You can also update your social sharing. settings. Maybe you have a new image that you want people to use when they're sharing, so you can upload a picture. You can also add and remove admins here, which is really, really helpful and something we definitely want to highlight. If you have people who managed your campaign last year who are no longer with your organization, make sure you review this section and then remove anybody who's no longer, who no longer needs access to the page. These are the people who are going to be receiving donation notifications. So, just making sure everybody who's on this list needs to be there. These are the people who are also probably going to be receiving communications from the Give for Good team. So you just want to make sure everybody who's on this page should be there and should have access to all of these things. I also want to talk about the tools and resources available to you. So we have a very wonderful tools and resources page directly on the Give for Good website. At the top, we have important dates. So registration opening, closing, you can sign up for the next live webinar, the strategy webinar, we have the dates for advanced giving, and then the live event. And then as you scroll through, we have different kind of tools and videos and kind of support articles available to you based on what you need. So if you're brand new and you're still getting comfortable with the basics, these are great sections to start with. Maybe it's you're a couple years in, you're feeling much more confident, you can go to the pro sections. This is where we talk more about donor retention reports, referral codes, if you want to start to dig deeper into where the donations are coming from via the links that you've set up. And then, you're welcome to click into any of these. I would add a couple, more challenging things to your campaign this year. If you haven't tried matches, try those out. That's found under the next level. But yeah, explore everything we have available to you. We have a ton of good resources. We also have, ebooks that are available for download. We have Mighty Cause has its own blog that you can search, and you can find different articles in our blog post library. But this is also where you go to grab this year's event logos. So you can download logos so that you can add them to your communications, to your newsletters, to Facebook, to your emails. Maybe you're sending out postcards. Be sure to come and download this year's logo. There's just a bunch of good stuff here, so come check it out. And then, of course, additional ways to get support. So we have kind of different areas for you to get support. If you have any questions about the technical capabilities of the platform, or if you're running into, something that you think is a bug or whatever you have, you can reach out to our support team. Just send a direct email to support@mightycause.com. Additionally, there's kind of a little gray support circle on the pages on your account so that you can just access the support forum and then directly send any tickets as well. But yeah, feel free to just send over an email. Maybe your donor needs a receipt resent. Maybe you need help finding that. Just send us an email. And then, of course, if you have actual questions about the program, you can reach out to Give for Good's team, giveforgood@cfnla.org. And they can help you with that. And then, of course, we also have just an overall kind of all things support related. We have a forum of frequently asked questions and different things that some organizations need support with. So you can find something in there as well. Maybe you have a very specific question about matching grants. Most of that information can easily be found in the forum itself, which is helpful. But please don't hesitate to send out an email asking your questions to support@mightycause.com. Our next webinar is happening March 26th. It's at 1:30 p.m. Central. We are going to be covering all things strategy, best practices. We're going to be talking about more in-depth matching grants, peer-to-peer fundraising, all of that good stuff. So be sure to tune into that. Thanks, everyone.